Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our post-match coverage on Newcastle Fans TV. It's another loss. We were expecting it, let's be honest, but it's another dour, dull game as we go down 2-1 at home to Leicester City. Another frustrating watch. You can kind of see why Sky Sports dedicated a whole 2 minutes to the pre-match build-up out of 45. Feel free to get your comments in to me. I'll be on here for about 10-15 minutes before we've got the fan reaction show with Carl and Adam at past. The lineup, pretty much expected. We knew Isaac Hayden was suspended. How we missed him today, especially as both Leicester's goals came from a player loitering at the edge of the area, which is where Hayden would normally be positioned. Our midfield, the Longstaffs, caught out, especially with the way we were set up. That's what you don't get when they've got an extra man in midfield. I mean, it's hard enough for Matty and Sean when they've got Ndidi and Tielemans to deal with, but then when you've got Maddison and Barnes just in front of them as well, they're going to get caught out. And they did. They did. It was bound to happen. It was two real sloppy pieces of play to let their goals through, because we pretty much kept Vardy quiet for the majority of the game. I know we had a couple of chances fairly early on, but he was offside, so they don't count. On the whole, he didn't really have a sniff. 5 at the back again, frustrating. I thought when the 2 changes were made, I thought, well, this is just really just set up for 4-2-3-1, but it kind of wasn't. It was a 4-4-1-1, which again didn't look great. I don't know why he's so reluctant to do 4-2-3-1. I mean, it just seems obvious to me. What can you do? Can't do it for him. Struggled to keep hold of the ball, struggled to make any sort of attack. Wilson was on his own up top, as always, feeding off scraps. Joe Linton was horrendous. His first touch was shocking. Didn't do anything to support the play. When he did eventually hold the ball up, he would lose it again and couldn't really pass to a teammate. And that just gave Leicester the ball back, and they could reset with the likes of Tielemans, who was superb in their midfield. He was, as was Maddison, and indeed he kept Wilson in his pocket, and the centre-backs and Kasper Schmeichel didn't really have much to do apart from to pick the ball out of the net for Andy Carroll's goal, which was nice to see. It was a positive. About time. It'll give Andy some confidence at least. The only positive was the Carroll goal. Who would have thought it? Big Andy. And I bet a lot of you were like, probably a lot of us going, why is he bringing Carroll on and not Gale? And for good reason. Gale's a gambler in terms of he'll take a chance on crosses. He's the archetypical fox in the box. And there was 2 massive opportunities, one from Matty Longstaff, the other from John Joe, where a cross came in and nobody was there. Nobody was gambling. No one was following in. We're chasing a game, lads. We're chasing a game. Gamble. Get in the freaking box. The one for Matty was inexcusable. Sean Longstaff was making the run. If he'd have just carried on his run, he would have been at that back post. He would have been at that back post, and who knows what would have happened. But he stopped. He staggered his run. He stopped on the edge of the box, which was absolutely a stupid thing to do. What was he trying to achieve doing that? There you go. What can you do? Let's see what you're saying. Poor decision-making going forward and sloppy passing. Absolutely. Another poor decision. I mean, Miguel Almiron does not look comfortable on the right-hand side at all. At all. And we've all been saying it for the past how many weeks? I mean, I would have, were it me, looking at that starting 11, and I said to the lads on the group chat, I was fine with that team, with that starting 11 by 1, and I would have stuck with Jacob Murphy, put him on the right, Miggy on the left, and then Joe Linton on the bench. I don't know why. I mean, it's 18 months Joe Linton's been at the club now. And I know people like to defend him, and try and go easy on him. And I was one. I mean, one of the first articles I ever wrote for Newcastle Fans TV was trying to support Joe Linton. That was 12 months ago. Has he improved since then? I don't think so. And another thing, the next Premier League game now is against Sheffield United away, who haven't won a game all season. That is the biggest game in Steve Bruce's Newcastle United tenure so far. The next game in the Premier League, I know we've got Arsenal in the Cup, but the next game in the Premier League at Bramall Lane will decide whether we're in a relegation fight or whether we're just going to coast along in lower mid-table for the rest of the season. Jacob Murphy has to start. Yeah, I would have done. Bruce said beforehand in the 2 minutes Sky Sports devoted to our game before the game, Murphy just got took out for a rest. I mean, he came on. Murphy could have just rolled the ball to Matty, put the ball out looking for Wilson. Yeah, Wilson had to come so deep to get involved in the game. There was a couple of pieces of link-up play between Murphy and Wilson. And because Wilson had to come so deep to try and start something, he couldn't really get in the box, which is why he couldn't get on the end of certain other passages of play with the John Joe and the Matty cross as well. In terms of the midfield, Matty, 3 games in a week, superb, love him to bits. And, there's now 18 months left on his contract, so there's going to be another contract saga starting with him soon. Whether he goes out on loan or not, I don't know. I personally wouldn't. He's got that shirt in midfield. Do you play him alongside Hayden now, or you've got Shelvey in there? Shelvey was poor for their second goal, really poor. But there's so little pace in our centre midfield. The 2 Longstaffs couldn't keep up with Leicester's counter-attacks for the first goal, and John Joe got caught out for the second. Really, really, really frustrating. Colby, if you want to get on the fan reaction show, quite simple. When you go on there, if you look on the live chat at the top, there'll be the link. Click on that link, and it'll take you to the virtual green room, and then they'll get you on. It's Carl and Adam doing that today, and then I'm back later for scoring the players with Lee and Adam. Lawrence says Matty and Hayden is the way forward at the moment, quite possibly. Or, I mean, you could have them in front of the in front of a back 4 in a 4-2-3-1, and then you could put Miggy in the 10, you could put Sean in the 10. It just adds that extra solidity because Miggy can't stay on the right. Miggy cannot stay on the right. Doesn't work. I mean, there's a huge Ryan Fraser-shaped hole on our wing. And let's not forget ASM as well, who's still got to come back, but we don't know when he's coming back. Ryan Fraser is back in training. Will he be fit for Arsenal? I don't know. Will he be fit for Sheffield United? God, I hope so. Because remember Derby County all them years ago? Worst team in the Premier League history. They took 4 points off us that season. I mean, I don't know who Sheffield United's equivalent of Kenny Miller is for a 30-yard screamer. But that's got to be in the back of our minds going into that game, because that is must win. Yeah, another disappointing day. I can see why he kept with the wing backs. I'm not against it, but when they've got them 3 in midfield and Didi, I mean, I say 3-4 as well if you count Harvey Barnes, who was very good today. They're a cracking team, Leicester. They really are. They'll be in the race for top 4 for sure throughout the season. But there's business to be done. There's a couple of loan deals that need to happen. It's just so frustrating to watch. I mean, after that first half, you almost become numb to it, because it was a horrendous first half. So dull, so tedious, so boring. But then, because we've got so numb to it, you think, oh, that wasn't bad. That could have been worse. There was a lot of frustrating performances. Ryan House and Yedlin played awful today. Yedlin was one of the frustrating ones. So much pace, He put one cracking ball in, but no one was there. I mean, Yedlin doesn't do many good crosses. That was his best cross for 2 years, probably, when he got the assist for Hosselu against Chelsea in a 2-1 home defeat. That was the last time Yedlin put a good cross in. He put one in today, and there was no one there. There was no one gambling, which, Dwight Gale, he's a gambler. Even Andy Carroll sooner would have been queuing to get his head on that. With Almiron, he is afraid to go forward because he's so left-footed, and he's on that right-hand side, and he always cut in, so he's making so many horizontal runs, whereas if he was on the left, he'd be bombing down that line, trying to whip a cross in or do something and make something happen, make some space. But on the right, he can't use his right foot, which is partly himself to blame. Of course it is, but Bruce should know where to play Miguel Almiron by now. Let's not get away from that. It's all the more frustrating. Too many times he's had to cut inside, and he's just passing it across to Matty or Sean. Sean was very hot and cold today. Very, very hot and cold. He did some real awful stuff, and he did some okay things as well. But I don't know. I think Isaac Hayden will obviously walk back into that midfield the next game. But I mean, Colby, spineless. I mean, we'll look forward to Colby on the fan reaction show. I say spineless. The only good thing is we were trying to go for it at the end. At least we got that goal back, and there was a degree of effort there. The heads didn't completely drop, so that's a kind of positive. Charles, spot on. Really need Fraser and ASM. Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do. Where do we stand with Murphy? I would have started him on the right, Miggy on the left, because Joe Linton was terrible. Murphy can cross, despite what my co-host Jonathan Greenwood says. But he's got to be more consistent. There's a few decisions there that were poor. His decision making has got to improve. And let's face it, if Fraser and ASM are fit, they're your first choice wingers. Simple as that. Simple as that. But yeah, huge positive. Andy Carroll getting a goal. Did anyone really expect us to win this game? Probably not. We got that bonus point against Liverpool, but it's disappointing not to build on that in the manner in which we went about, especially the first half. I don't think Leicester played brilliantly considering the names they've got on there, but two real lax moments and leaving quality players such as Maddison and Tielemans unmarked on the edge of the box, you're always going to be in trouble. But it's another disappointing game. 6 games now without a win. 6. Surely the pressure is... if the pressure wasn't... Well, it was eased after the Liverpool game, but it'll be ramping up again on Bruce. And that Sheffield United game, as I say, is absolutely huge. But Carl and Adam will be waiting now for the live fan reaction. That starts at 4:30. At quarter to 6, 5:45 UK time, we'll be on with Scoring the Players, and then Lee is here for the last word. So get your thoughts and comments in, and thank you for all your interaction this afternoon. And stay tuned to Newcastle Fans TV.